you very much.
What are we up to?
We're at 20. We are running at 20 ticks per second, and alright, future system, the one that's going to actually be usable for the next little while. No, regular world ticks like the TPS, that's something separate. Accelerated increases random world ticks, which are what trigger plant growth. So if you have instability turned off, for example, and then spam the ever-living hell out of accelerated, you end up with a world where it's plant seed gets plant. Like, you don't even have to wait a full second for your plants to grow.
Imagine hooking a forestry system to
that. Oh boy.
Imagine what the monstrosity with that.
Yeah, that's what made me shudder specifically. It was the monstrosity.
Some of you are new. Some of you don't know the monstrosity. The monstrosity is a machine that we set up here that uses just one forestry pumpkin farm to harvest its entire distant radius full of melons.
We have run it for a total of 3 stacks of peat in a single peat-fired engine. The output has been approximately 10,000 stacks, I think it was.
Somewhere around there.
I actually had
You've actually had it turned off for about a week and a half now, and we still haven't even touched most of the output.
Yeah, alright. Here we are. Here we are. 1,004 stacks. Total operating time, 13 hours calendar.
Okay, the future gamers system. That's a tough one. I don't think Microsoft Windows is going to go away anytime soon, but I see a lot of development toward Linux. So it's probably going to take about 10 years for Linux to become a domineering force. You'll know that Linux is taking over around the time Microsoft starts making overt actions against Linux directly, rather than indirect potshots.
Their current cloak and dagger campaign will be gone, and they will be actually actively fighting directly.
Yeah, you'll start seeing lawsuits and threats against companies making Linux and Linux products.
Yep.
If they hit the point that it's a crisis to them and they have to switch, it's going to be too late. If they're seen making panicked moves, people aren't going to want to go to a company that's unstable. That's not saying that Microsoft won't figure out its lesson before that happens. Oh, I'm betting they will. More than likely, they're going to go back. Microsoft has a history of, they actually have a pattern in their operating systems. They make a risky one that usually fails. Windows Millennium comes into mind. Then they'll make a mostly stable one to try to make up for that. Then they'll usually make a somewhat riskier one, but more or less a stable one. So they'll try to stick with what works, but again, try to push their ideals forward. And depending on how that goes, they'll try to push it again, and that's usually when they make a mistake.
Yeah. Windows 8 is this generation's Windows Millennium. Straight up.
Or Vista.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does typically follow one bad, one good, but sometimes they'll have two good in a row.
Like Windows 2000 and Windows XP.
And while people will point out that Windows 2000 was of the same generation as Millennium, 2000 and Millennium were of two different operating system sets.
Yep. They actually had taken it out before before release to manufacturer. They had actually taken out the Windows 7 style from Windows 8.
What Microsoft is trying to do with its current style is it's trying to make people familiar with the operating system. So when they're making a choice of tablet or phone, they're more likely to pick a Microsoft product rather than something else.
Works better when you don't have two juggernauts already duking it out over phone OS, and they have 90% of the market share between them.
I'm not saying Microsoft's move is not entirely dumb. If we had touchscreen of monitors being commonplace rather than the rarity they are now, it would have been a brilliant move on their part. But right now, it is a stupid move because they're trying to jump a market before it has a chance to be ready for it.
Oh yeah, and tablets. They're no better off in tablets either. The operating system breakdown for tablets is about the same as the operating system breakdown for smartphones. And Microsoft is not in the happy percentage of that.
But say what you will, Windows has been around for a long time, and so has Macs and Linux. None of them are going to disappear overnight.
Strictly speaking, they should. Are they smart enough to do it? No, not right. The timing on everything that Microsoft is doing right now for their style change sucks. Their timing outright sucks right now for the style change. Because they don't actually have the market force behind them anymore to maintain the momentum.
Did you know that Nintendo is responsible for the next Xbox system being pushed out as quickly as it is? It has nothing to do with PlayStation. It's entirely Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
Because last numbers I checked, Nintendo's Wii outsold the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 combined. And of all Microsoft's markets, the only one actually currently making money is Microsoft Office. Everything else is a financial loss on their part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we could. Nah, you're
It
probably
gets
right.
it gets old because we're all on the same side of the argument.
Nintendo.
Yep. They have console sales. They also have the game sales to back up. And isn't the Wii U the first one where they sell mostly? Yeah, Nintendo's haven't been.
No,
Traditionally, Nintendo's consoles have not been loss leaders.
Nintendo's the only company that has only rarely lost money on consoles. The only one in recent memory that they've lost money on was the Virtual Boy, and they knew to drop that one on its head really early on.
Yeah, that was when 3D technology was really bad. Here's a fun question for you guys. Do you know what graphics chips have been in the last 3 generations of Nintendo set tops? Nope. It's been AMD and ATI graphics since the GameCube. The GameCube, the Wii, and the Wii U all use AMD ATI graphics. Yeah. Didn't know. There's a sticker right on the case of the things.
Okay. I'm just setting up my next generation of bees, which look like they finally have stabilized the Diligent line, and then I'm going to be taking a short break to get a drink.
All right. But yeah, no, we don't. We don't actually need another console out there.
Although Steam is trying for it.
Yeah. If Steam does their thing right, theirs might actually sell.
Not yet.
They aren't really, but they have a system in they basically would be making a PC that's probably going to end up being Linux based. And I wouldn't be surprised to see the entire Steam library that is Linux compatible available on that Steam issue console, on the Valve issue console, because it would the console itself would be specifically designed for it, and you'd have, yeah, basically, it would be a lot easier. They'd probably be a lot easier to upgrade too. They'd probably actually set it up so that your graphics subsystem would be a module that you could just take a nickel to the back of your case, undo 2 screws, and swap. It's something they could do. They may not, but it's something that they definitely could do.
Okay, be right back.
All right. They probably... Actually, some of the subsystems of these consoles, they need to be like that. They need to be modules. Yeah, I've got two steam turbines going off of the one boiler. I could probably get away with a third and get it up to full power because that's a 36 HP. Holy hell, you're not charged yet. Hurry up. There we go. Yeah, I just took a look at the math for that melon monstrosity. Let's put it this way: it can fill a barrel every hour without trying. Yeah, Macs are pure marketing, and it has actually been scientifically checked. A lot of the Mac zealots actually respond with the same mental response that brainwashed cults do. Yeah, for the same cost for a Mac, you give me that budget, I would end up with twice the computer if I didn't go Mac. And I'd be able to squeeze that little bit more if I were to also not go Windows. But there's not that much you'd be able to squeeze out with that actually. I probably have some jacketed cable in back there, but I need more. My Sony Ion for the same price also includes HDMI out on the phone itself. I don't need a special adapter. I've got more power in my phone, in my Xperia Ion, functionality-wise, than an iPhone will until probably the iPhone 7, maybe even the iPhone 8. And yet, I have it now. They don't even look that good. Maybe weird. I may be seeing more of their usefulness straight up than. No. I may be blinded by the fact that, well, the function wise they're crap for their price. I may be blinded by that, but even still.
I'm back.
Yep. There we go. Got rid of that creeper the safe-ish way.
There's nothing safer than a nuke from the other side of the planet.
Except a teleporting portal that sends them to the other side of the planet.
Well, there is that. But you want to see the blacks with eyes, don't you?
Not really. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Coming back here in the middle of this leaves me with the definite impression I think we'll scare off anybody new if we don't switch topics at this point.
5, 6.
What do you think?
We're getting there, yeah. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's...
Is it raining out?
No.
What I was hearing was up high.
2, 3, 5,
Trying to make the
6.
power systems weep and cry. In other words, recharge time.
I'm going to be doing up some lamps there.
Okay.
Uh,
If glowstone isn't an issue at this stage, but redstone, we only got the 29 stacks here plus what's in there.
okay.
So,
Let's see. I'm going to need that.
actually, now might be a goodish time to deal with converting those lighting issues on the outside of the of our little hut here, replacing those torches. And I was thinking, since we have a lot of it, the light gray dye. No toxic. He just confirmed it wasn't raining.
And we live in regular plains. Let's see. It was alright now.